Hello, my name is Porthos Lima and I am the Technical Director of Brazilian Pilots Association. I have been working as a pilot for 20 years. I am here today to introduce you to our app No Rumo Certo. The app was inspired in 2017 EMPA safety campaign. We understood that it would be great to have a tool that allows us to make this kind of survey continuously and that all pilots could have access to the results. The solution we found was to develop an app through which all Brazilian pilots could report irregularities in an easy and fast way. Brazil is divided in 22 pilotage districts that we call pilotage zones or ZPs. Each one receives a number from north to south. Our country has a very long coast and a lot of ships making voyages along this coast and stopping in several Brazilian ports in the same voyage. If a vessel presents a problem in her arrangement in one port, it is desirable that all other pilot organizations may have this information as soon as possible. Although the main objective was to collect and access information about pilot boarding arrangements, we soon realized that we could use the same tool to gather other information as well. Then we created three main categories of information: pilot transfer arrangements, vessels operational deficiencies, and occurrences with tugs. With that in mind, we developed an experimental version of the application and made a test in Rio de Janeiro Pilotage District during a few weeks before releasing it to the whole country. The first step was introducing in the system all the 633 Brazilian pilots divided by pilotage zones. Each pilot has a login, email, and a password to access the app. We also inserted all the tags in activity divided by ZPs where they work. If a tag changes from one port to another, we change in the system, and all the history of occurrences is preserved. It was also necessary to include the email addresses of all authorities divided by ZPs. Most of Brazilian pilot organizations use a software to organize the maneuvers scheduled. We have two main developers of this kind of software in Brazil, and we asked them to cooperate with us in order to make possible to integrate their software with our app. Each time the pilot station operator designates a pilot to a maneuver, the software sends a protocol to our app, creating a report to be completed by the pilot. At the same time, the pilot receives a notification that he has a report to fill. All the basic information is already there: date, port, IMO number, name of the ship, type, and flag. After the maneuver is completed, the pilot fills the report. It is very simple and he has to inform only destination of the ship, freeboard transfer arrangement, and needs to answer 3 questions. 1. Have you observed any irregularity on the transfer arrangement? 2. Have you observed any operational deficiency on the navigation or ship systems? 3. Was there any problem with the tags during the maneuver? If all the answers are negative, he just sends the report. If he marks yes to 1 or more of these questions, he is asked to give more details about the problem observed. The pilot can include images to the report and has the option to send an email with the report attached to a list of authorities, depending on his pilot's district. If any irregularity is observed, an automatic message is sent to the pilot station where the ship is heading. Doing that, the next pilot that will maneuver this vessel will be alerted even before proceeding to her. The vessel receives a tag from the system and is included in a blacklist of ships with problems. Her name will then appear in red in all lists to alert the pilots that this vessel has presented a deficiency. The next pilot that will maneuver the same ship will know exactly which irregularity was verified. If the deficiency has been corrected, the pilot will fill the report informing that no deficiencies were found and the vessel will be excluded from the blacklist. Her history of fault will be preserved. Another interesting feature is that any pilot may consult any ship at any time and check all the history of the ship since the app was created. Each pilot may also consult all the reports he did along the time. If the pilot works in a small port and the pilot organization has no software to register the activities, he still may fill in his reports. The only difference is that he has to fill all the data manually. The app also allows the pilots to easily consult the EMPA poster and the content of SOLAS Regulation Chapter 5. In order to show how the app works, I'll make a few simulated reports. Pending reports, now I will choose Eagle Paraná. Eagle Paraná was a tanker proceeding inbound in São Sebastião, so the general data is already filled. I will just put the destination, that is São Sebastião. The freeboard was more than 9 meters and the arrangement was a combination ladder. So, have you found any irregularity in the transfer arrangement? No, it was okay. Any operational deficiencies? No. Any problem with a tug? No. So, it was a perfect vessel. I just send the report and it's done. Very, very simple. The next report I'm gonna fill is Navion Stavanger. She was proceeding outbound from São Sebastião to Rio de Janeiro. So the destination was ZP 15, Rio de Janeiro. The freeboard was less It was between 3 and 9 meters, and the transfer arrangement was pilot ladder. Have you found any problem in the transfer arrangement? Yes, there was a problem in the transfer arrangement. So the problem was that the pilot ladder was not against ship hull. Any operation deficiencies? No. Any problem with tugs? No. I could report the authorities, but I will not do that right now. And I could add an image if I want, but I'm not going to do that now. So I just send a report. The next report I'm gonna fill is Rio de Janeiro. As you can see, she was in the blacklist because she has deficiency or irregularity prior to my maneuver. So we're gonna see. She was leaving Rio de Janeiro, destination to Salvador. So I will fill the destination to Salvador. The freeboard was between 3 and 9 meters. The arrangement was the pilot ladder. She has a problem that was the ladder was not secured properly. But when I did the maneuver, they correct this. So I'm gonna tell that there is no problem in the transfer arrangement. There was also a problem in the equipment, but now there is no problem and no problem with tugs. So ship was perfect. I just send the report and it's done for Rio de Janeiro. Now the next report will be C-Max Roaton. She was also leaving Guanabara Bay. Destination is Santos. So destination Santos. The freeboard was between 3 and 9 meters. And she was using side door and pilot ladder. No problems with the transfer arrangement, but she has a problem with the navigation equipment. Actually, she has a problem with the bow thruster. And no problems with the tags during the maneuver. The report was reported to the authorities. I didn't add any image and I send the report. Very simple. The next report will be for stack overflow, a bulk carrier coming from Santana to Itacoatiara, ZP2. So the freeboard was more than 9 meters. Combination ladder was used. There was no problem with the transfer arrangement, but the ship had a problem with AIS. So I will mark a deficiency in AIS equipment. No problems with tags, and of course we report the defect to the authorities and send the report, and it's done. Besides the features listed above for the Pilot's app, we also have a web dashboard that can be accessed by Brazilian Pilots Association or by any pilots organization. With this tool, we can verify all the reports and have statistic data about all the information collected. There are a few filters that can be used, like period of time, name of the vessel, port, and category of occurrence. The application is open for further development, and there are a lot of possibilities to be implemented. One of them could be integrate all the information and share it with other pilot organizations around the globe. Of course, the success of this tool depends on the collaboration of the pilots. The last EMPA safety campaign was a very good opportunity to motivate our pilots to use it. We have sent 771 reports using our app No Rumo Certo, and 1,053 in total. CONAPRA has registered the copyrights of this application, but we would be pleased to share it with EMPA, EMPA, and other pilot organizations. Thank you for your attention.